All right, come on in, because today we're going to tell a story. It's a tale about a magical digital world, a story about a vast ocean, a busy island, and all the incredible creatures that live there. This is the story of the Great Price Pulse.
Now, every good story needs a setting, right? And ours kicks off in a world that's split into two very distinct but deeply connected realms. This is where the ideas of pure value and, well, dynamic flow really come to life.
You see, in this incredible realm of digital magic, everything, and I mean everything, revolved around two places, the Bitcoin ocean and the bustling shores of Liquidity Island. The ocean was deep, massive, representing something solid and almost timeless. And the island? It was just buzzing with energy and movement. And where those two met? Well, that's where things get really, really interesting.
So this world, it was populated by two very different types of creatures. Out in the deep Bitcoin ocean, you had the sea creatures. They represented true shining value, something steady, something you could count on. Then, on Liquidity Island, you had the mammals. They brought the flow, or as we call it, liquidity. That fast, easy movement that makes the whole system work. Two completely different groups with two completely different jobs.
Okay, so now let's go to where all the action is, the place where these two worlds literally smash into each other, the exchange shore. This place is chaotic, it's energetic, and yes, sometimes it's pretty dangerous. And it's here that we meet the fastest creatures in the entire realm.
Right there at the very edge of the water, you'll find the tiny, nervous mice. These guys are the quickest, the most excitable. They're always the first to rush in at the tiniest ripple of an opportunity. They just move with this incredible speed, hoping to snatch a quick little piece of value and get out.
So how do these little guys operate? Well, they climb what our story calls leverage ladders. Now, in our world, that's what we know as leverage trading, basically borrowing money to make these super risky gambles. And because these ladders are so tall and just so wobbly, it's the mice who create the absolute most volatility. You know, one wrong step, and a big wave can just wash them away in a giant liquidation splash.
But the mice aren't out there alone on the shore. Oh no, working right alongside them are the clever foxes. You can think of them as high-volume day traders, just chasing every tiny price change. And then you have the organized wolf packs, who move together using these tactical strategies to skim the foam right off the top of the waves.
So you've got this whole scene, the mice, the foxes, and the wolves, and they're the ones making all the noise on the shore. It's their super fast movements that cause the price to jump up and drop down so wildly. A lot of the time, they're trading with the smaller shrimp and the more active fish from the ocean. And the rule is simple. The faster these land animals move, the crazier and more frenzied the whole scene gets.
All right, let's leave that frantic shore behind for a second and head into the deeper currents. This is where we find creatures who are a bit more patient, a lot more strategic. They don't react to every tiny little splash. No, they ride the bigger waves.
And coming from the island, you've got these strong, armored rhinos. These guys are the trend followers. So when they see the foxes and wolves start running in one direction, the rhinos just lower their heads and charge, adding their massive weight to confirm and really accelerate that trend. Meanwhile, out in the ocean, you meet even more strategic swimmers. You've got the wise octopuses, who are these brilliant investors that see opportunities nobody else does. Then there are the playful dolphins, tactical traders using their smarts to navigate the choppy waters stirred up by the mice. But they all keep a very close eye on one creature in particular, the mighty shark. The shark is the ultimate trendsetter. When it decides to swim in a certain direction, everyone else, the rhinos, the dolphins, they all just follow along.
So, okay, you've got total chaos on the shore, you've got these powerful currents in the middle waters. It kind of makes you wonder, right? With all this wild movement going on, what's actually holding this entire world together? What provides any real stability?
Well, to find that answer, we have to go deep. I mean, really deep. Far away from the noisy shore, down in the calm, quiet depths of the Bitcoin ocean. That's where you find the true anchors of this entire ecosystem.
And down here, what do we find? The stubborn crabs. In our world, these are the long-term holders. They've got their piece of value and they have buried themselves deep in the sand. They simply refuse to sell. It doesn't matter how wild the waves get on the surface. They are a force of pure, unshakable stability.
You know, what the crabs represent is this super important idea, the market anchor. This is any force that brings stability to the whole system. Just by holding on to their value and completely ignoring all that short-term noise, they create a solid foundation. They're literally the bedrock. And of course, you can't talk about the deep without talking about the giants. The colossal whales are the great market movers of the ocean, holding just vast amounts of value. When they move, they create these huge, slow currents. And to balance that massive value, the huge elephants over on Liquidity Island bring what's called macro flow, these steady, conservative movements that balance out the huge trades of the whales.
But even beyond the crabs and the whales and the elephants, there's one final guardian, a silent force that watches over everything, the ultimate anchor of price and value in this entire world.
And watching over every single one of them, from the nervous little mice on the shore all the way to the mighty whales in the deep.
Down in the deepest, most secure trench of the entire Bitcoin ocean, a place that almost no one ever gets to see, was the ancient, luminous, great blue whale, the true legend of the entire realm.
So what does this great blue whale actually do? Well, it represents the apex tier of value. It holds these ultimate reserves that are almost never, ever moved. It's the silent, powerful guarantee that no matter how much chaos happens up on the shore, the deep, foundational value of the Bitcoin ocean will always remain strong.
And that right there brings us to the moral of our whole story. It's simple. The faster the flow of the mice, the choppier the price. The steadier the value of the crabs, the safer the whole ecosystem became. It's just a beautiful way to sum up that constant dance between short-term liquidity and long-term value.
So I'll leave you with this. The next time you look at the market and you see that price pulsing up and down, ask yourself, which creatures do you hear? Is it the frantic scurrying of the mice on the shore? The steady, powerful charge of the rhinos? Or is it the deep, silent presence of the crabs and the great blue whale holding it all together?